Welcome to SFH Presents One More Podcast.
Welcome to SFH Presents One More Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Polk. Today I got with me Tommy Richardson. What's up, man?
Man, how you doing?
I'm doing good. First off, I'm not a medical professional, so if you need medical help, you could probably find someone better to put your time into. But I do appreciate you guys being here and listening in with us and going on these journeys. Tommy, just to get to the question, to get this thing kicked off, what does still fucking here mean to you?
It means build an unkillable persona, right? It means that you have to harden yourself in every way, shape, and form. Get as tough as you possibly can. We need people to become a person that's going to run towards the gunfire. Okay. And I say that among speaking venues and whatnot. And people are like, what the heck does that mean? I was like, I need you to face a challenge, man. I need you to be able to go through tough things in order to hone what it is that you're going to become. Because you don't know what that looks like just yet. You still got breath in your lungs. You still got blood flowing through your heart. Your brain's still firing. You're still in the fight. And it's a day-to-day fight. And I just still here means I'm still here and I'm still fighting. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I'm sharpening the axe that is me to get ready to stay in that fight and take on whatever's coming my way.
It's a very interesting perspective, and a lot of people could stand to gain from that. You know, just two things came to mind when you were talking about that. I remember looking at a study. I have two kids, and there was just a study on what different things impacted what makes a kid a healthy person, a healthy adult. And one of the number one things was grit. One of the number one things that showed that kids could come through things and they could work through hard times, they could work through trauma, they could work through whatever they had to do was that one thing.
Sure. Absolutely. And the thing is, you're not born with it, man. A lot of people will say that, especially within my past profession, is, oh, you were just born that way and this, that, and the other. Dadgum, no, I wasn't. It was the exact opposite. It's only by the grace of God that I'm still here and able to bring my story to folks and just keep pushing. But it's what it is that tough times are going to breed tough people. And that's what the world needs.
Yeah. And that was the other point. You just segued directly into the other point that I thought of, is that looking at the younger generation. Now, this is a mental health podcast, but there is a balance of being of the pull yourself up by the bootstraps mentality can be a bad thing if that's all. There's a balance between that and being mentally healthy and actually understanding your emotions and working yourself through those things and learning to carry that as well.
I mean, that's personal, man. If you need that, go for it. But the thing is that you've got to be able to, to be able to get knocked down, not sit down, cry any cornflakes and go, oh, woe is me, but to dust yourself off, stand up and get back on the road and keep charging. That's what you have to do. And that's the only thing that's going to happen. And that's what a healthy mindset is going to be. It's those people that focus internal that usually end up having a lot of problems. But if you start focusing externally, right? So now I go into talking about the servant leadership mentality. If you start focusing on other people and less about yourself, you're going to have less problems.
It makes a lot of sense. And I'll be honest, like that's part of my problem. That has been part of my problem. And so you're telling someone that needs to hear that as well, But what I think though is that, like, I like the idea that mental health on some level is getting some attention, because some people do need that attention.
Big time.
And there are people that do have that hard work mentality who don't deal with something they need to deal with in order to attack these problems correctly. It's not about feeling sorry for somebody. It's not about feeling sorry for yourself, but to arm yourself with the ability to be able to do whatever the next best thing is without failing with no growth. Does that make sense?
Well, that's the thing, is you have to understand that failure is what's going to cause growth. And I always say too, man, like if you're sitting in a hole and you got a ladder in front of you, well, each rung in the ladder is a failure, but at the end of that is success. But you have to climb the ladder. You have to be willing to do that, or else you just stay in the hole and then there's nowhere else to go. So
Right.
If you want to get out of it, you've got to step out of it, man. Something has to spark that. And traditionally that's thinking of others. If you got people, literally standing on the edge, it's think about your kids, think about people that do care about you. And, it's just, or, hey, maybe, or if you are alone and everybody, they don't have family, you don't have friends or whatever, it's go find somewhere where you can give. And that will lead to the fulfillment that will keep you going.
Well, that goes back to something that is a continual thing that we get to, especially with people who are out of the military and struggling, is
Sure.
purpose.
Big
Having
time.
a purpose.
Yeah.
There are people that don't have anyone in their life to care for or that care for them, and you've got to create your own purpose in that case.
Sure. I mean, even the people that are there and say they're there and they want to care about you, or they'll tell you it's lip service and they don't follow up with action. And then that leads you back into, oh, woe is me. But again, and I get if that person's close to you and they say, and there's kind of iffy about on the delivery side of the house, or maybe that care that you need really isn't there. Again, it's one of those things where you can't rely on other people.
Right.
But what you can and you can't control how they're going to act or react. But what you can control is how you act and react to everything. And everything is a choice, right? And if you want to go internal, you've chosen to go internal. You haven't chosen to go external and go try to go and help other people, right? Because if you give and give and give, eventually it will be given back unto you.
That makes so much sense, and it's a great mentality. With young people, you look at like TikTok and where the mental health thing has now become everyone's self-diagnosing. And like I said, on the flip side, I love that there's some awareness and maybe some of the stigma around mental health being lifted, but the pendulum has swung so far that it's worried me thinking about, especially with the military and things like that, what this next generation of kids is going to be like. But I'm from the Midwest, and they're a little fucking different around here. Most of the kids around here are pretty hardy, the country boys and they're the ones who will take up arms and go fight,
Yeah, I mean, I'm from deep South, man. I'm from Texas, so it's the same way, and that's how I grew up too, man. But I think the thing is that people are using stigmas and fancy terms, and just to try to be. It's an excuse to be weak, right? It's an excuse to take the easy way out, because the easy way out is the easy way out, and anybody can take it, and it's comfortable. But if you keep seeking comfort and comfort and comfort and comfort, well, eventually you're just going to be a lazy pile of crap, and you're not going to be worth anything to anybody. You're not going to have purpose, right?
Yeah.
You have to be able, like I say, you've got to be able to run towards a gunfire. You've got to be able to go to hard places and do hard things, because that's what's going to make you tougher and resilient and able to handle it when the bad things are going to come. Because guess what? It's never going to stop, right? The fight's always out there in some form or another, right? So once you come to terms with that and understand that things are going to happen that are negative, that's fine. It's how you react and how prepared you are for when those things come. And don't use an excuse to be weak, because there's nothing good about being weak. When did you ever in your life go into a situation and then come out on the other end of it and said, man, I wish I was weaker?
Yeah.
Never.
100%.
Strength is not a weakness.
Yeah, that's another one of my favorite words that is so simple yet so important is fucking balance, man. Like, balance between everything is so hard to achieve. So like, if you have that affliction, like, you could really have like some type of depression that makes it hard to do things, but that's something you're going to have to learn to manage. So for me, that's been what I've learned in the last year and a half, is like, I have used it as an excuse. I have used it as an excuse for things, and realizing that if this is part of how my brain works, then I've got to learn to deal with life and understand that that's there and put it in its place. It's a matter of learning to manage these things. It's not a matter of just saying that you've got this thing and going, well, I have this thing. My daughter, she is very anxious. She has anxiety where she has hard times doing things, and having to be like, look, I get it. But if you want to do it, if you're going to do it, if you're going to succeed at this thing you want to do, you can't give way to that. You have to learn to push through that shit.
And the thing is that you have an excellent opportunity to teach a lesson on courage, right? Courage doesn't mean that you're not afraid. I mean, you could say, okay, fear, false evidence appearing real, 100%. That's right. But if you're put in a situation where, everything starts flowing, adrenaline starts hopping, and it's like, a fight or flight type scenario, you've got to be able to get up and go, right? It's being afraid and then going and doing it anyway. And that's what you have to have, especially with people with anxiety. It's like, or telling people with, they're very, very worrisome. It's like, what does worrying get you? Nothing. It gets you frozen. It gets you trapped. Oh, here's the thing. If you just accept that some bad things are going to happen, but I have the resilience to push through that, all it's going to do is just make me better on the other end, and stop worrying. Stop worrying. It's going to aid you. It's going to make you just nothing good is coming from it. It's going to make you weak. Don't do it. You know, I mean, it's just start. Okay. If you want to say I and start with self, because you have to make yourself strong in order to be strong for others. Right. So focus on the wellness piece. Okay. Is my sleep dialed in? Do I have a good diet? Am I exercising? Okay. Are those three things dialed in to the point to where I can function properly as a person?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, and I'm doing all of that stuff and my body, spirit, and mind are optimized, I'm going to go out and be ready to attack, because it takes discipline to stay optimized.
Yeah.
But that's a goal. Focus on yourself if you're going to make yourself strong for others.
Yeah. And you have to be willing to learn through the whole process.
Absolutely.
You have to be willing to learn how to deal with yourself, how to deal with other people, how to be resilient. Like you said, it's not something you're just born with.
No, you're a student until you die, man. That's it. You always have to be learning, and that's learning about yourself and what you're capable of and what you're not capable of. You have to analyze yourself, understand what your weaknesses are. People want to push towards their strengths. I say that with folks in the gym all the time, right? They want to focus on their strengths because they can look good around other people because their ego comes into it. Well, that doesn't make you better, right? What makes you better is identifying weaknesses and then analyzing them, not criticizing, analyzing them, and then figuring out how to make them not weaknesses anymore. It's
Right.
finding those gaps within yourself to be able to strengthen and build yourself up to go out and carry on and take on whatever challenges are coming your way.
Well, you touched on something too that it kind of ties this all together, and that's comfort zones. Like every time I've gotten myself out of a comfort zone, which I'm going to say lately, other than this podcast maybe, which still wasn't that far out, I haven't really pushed myself out of comfort zones. But I talk to my kids about this all the time. We're actually going through something currently that is a big change in our life, and my daughter and I, have both went through the stresses of it. And I was on the phone with her the other day, kind of having the same conversation you just had. We're like, maybe some things are going to happen in the future that we don't like, but why sit and stress and worry about them? Deal with them once they come. Like, prepare yourself a little bit. But I'm saying, like if you have all of your brain wrapped around every possible outcome that could go poorly, then you're not thinking straight on the things you actually need to work on and what you can do to hopefully prevent those things or avoid those things.
You'll freeze. You'll absolutely freeze. You'll freeze up and you won't go anywhere, right? You won't go backwards. You won't go forwards. You'll go nowhere, which eventually will just lead to backwards. I mean, we always called it the 80-20 rule, in a team. As long as I have an 80% solution, I'm good to go, which means not only do I have a plan, but I have a baseline with which I can flex from when changes are come. Because you always say no plan survives first contact, right? And then it was Mike Tyson said, everything's awesome until you get punched in the face. So it's just that punch is coming.
Yeah.
And it might not be in the face. It might be in another direction. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's coming. Something is coming, but you can't let it freeze you. You can't make it become an excuse to win and charge harder and make yourself tougher. That's it.
Yeah.
Because that's how you're going to start overcoming things. If you start off from a position of weakness, every little time that you test yourself is going to make you a little bit stronger, a little bit tougher, a little bit more resilient. And then you know what? Thing is, it doesn't just get harder or tougher. You just get better. Once you get better, you can handle almost anything to the point to where you're impervious to pain.
Right. And I mean, it's very similar to the concept of going to the gym and lifting weights.
Absolutely.
I mean, you lift X amount of weight and it's really hard, and eventually that gets easier. And then over time you can add more weight and that's hard. And then it gets easier. That's the same concept.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is you have to also look at it as it's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes those baby incremental gains in weight and strength for your body to be able to adapt to that stimulus so that you can add more. Why do you want more? Because you can become stronger, and that's what you want.
I think, looking at the perspective of my kids again, the difficulty of teaching that marathon is that you don't, unless you have the wisdom to understand that those growths are very small and incremental, and that you don't actually maybe notice them. You might not see them. It's not like you go to the gym one day and you come home with fucking huge biceps.
Facts.
So getting somebody to put their head down and go, yeah, but just keep going. Just trust the process. Do it for a year. Do it for 5 years. It's all
about consistency. You have to have it. And that's the thing, is that that it works because the plan has already been laid out and it's worked for so many other people, right? It's like there's already a manuscript for life. It's called the Bible. You read any of those stories in there, they're in there's only one perfect person, right? That's it. And that's the example of what we all strive to or never going to get. Everybody else in that book is jacked up 6 ways from Sunday. I'm alive right now because I believe God loves idiots, right? Dude's got a great sense of humor. But at the same time, it's like we get to go through things in order to go, well, he got me through this, and that's it. But every lesson learned, everything that I'm talking about right now, literally is biblically laid out. And it's happened in the past. That's it. It's your historical text, not just historical, but it's also in times what's coming, right? Being ready for the worst. So rock and roll. And the cool part about it is that, victory's already won. All I'm doing is riding it out, and that's it. And whatever it is that is going to come my way, I'm going to handle anything, and I know I can handle anything, and so can my family.
I love that. It's definitely gotten harder, I feel like, to get this message across, and people need to hear it more than ever because of the way that our entertainment comes in is in instant gratification, short bursts. Everything is even relationships are difficult to carry on because of this. Like it's probably a more important message than ever.
It's the screen time, man. That's it. And it's all plot and it's all a ploy. It is. And it ain't conspiracy theory. It's legitimate. There's science that backs all of it, man. And as far as what it does to your brain if you're glued to a freaking screen. Dude, man, I'm telling you, go outside. Go get in the sun. Go to the woods. Get back with freaking what the good Lord gave us, man. Dude, I tell you what, this past weekend I drove back from Ohio, and that drive from Ohio back down to Virginia, where I'm at now, dude, driving through West Virginia and then up to the Blue Ridge, absolutely beautiful. I had no radio on. Nothing, man. My little 8-year-old was rolling in the back, man. Dude didn't have a screen in front of him. He just sitting there staring at clouds and mountains, and we're going through the mist and everything. And we're talking about how gorgeous it is. Yeah. Like, just take the time to go look at stuff, not what's on a screen to see what some dummy's doing.
People can't even go to a damn concert without having their camera out. You know what I mean?
Bro, don't even get me started. Holy cow. That's another one. So I went to a concert of a old band I used to love back in the day, and I'm an old metalhead, man. And I was absolutely just floored. Nobody was watching the show. Everybody's sitting there with their phone up. Like, I remember when lighters went up, right? Nobody had a lighter. I'm not saying smoking, but it's just because it's horrible for you. But at the same time, it's just like that whole culture shift has happened. And then, heaven forbid, you get in a pit. There is no pit. It's not a thing anymore, man. It's just like everything. And I'm just going, oh my gosh, these people are so dadgum soft. It's terrible. But you just see the shift, man. And like I said, just you're living your life through a screen. You're not living your life.
Yeah.
No wonder you're depressed.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's ever going back in the box, but I think that people need to make part of their interaction with life. And this is not disconnecting from a screen, but even my algorithms on YouTube of me watching political shit and watching him, like heavy things to think about. I popped in on a fucking dog video the other day where this guy sits with dogs for an hour, that are in a shelter and they're like having a bad time, and he kind of brings them back to, and just that shifted my mental space. And like when I did leave the house later that day, I hopped in my car and I was just happy for no reason, really. You're going to become what you watch and what you listen to. Right.
Environment is huge. Like, instead of doing something like that, listen to a podcast that you like. Dude, listen to the Bible on tape, right? Yeah. Go through some of the stories, something that's that positive, uplifting thing that's going to get you in that right mentality. Because if you keep watching stuff that's going to drive you more and more and more in a wrong direction, what are you doing it for? It's there. Just stop. Go find something else.
And if you're an anxious person, you're heightening your anxiety. You're keeping yourself in this space of like, ultra stress, so that when you do interact with the world or you do something else, that you can't stop thinking about that thing or what might happen. Like, yeah, I think it's a matter of, I just had a guy on who has a company that right now is working with the Marine Corps doing, and he's a ex-Navy warship captain, but he's teaching to young recruits. He's teaching cognitive behavioral theory. In other words, like, and he also made a connection with how this still works with religion and all these other things. But basically these types of things to arm people with the ability to make choices, to think about this shit, take some time away from the screen, realize what social media is. If you got to do it for a little bit, then stop. Like, You don't need to be on your phone for fucking 8 hours a day reading through the same shit.
Like I said, man, just go take a walk in the woods. There is some, yeah, it's pretty. And yes, there's stuff there that can harm you, but dadgummit, so can the concrete jungle.
Yeah.
Everything. If you sit there worried about stuff that's going to harm you, you might as well just put yourself in a locker and just drink sunscreen. I mean, I got nothing for you, man, but you just go out there, enjoy the beauty of it, go get connected with it. It's just awesome to go look and see what the good Lord made for us, man. Or you know what? If you don't want to do that, go to some group where there's a bunch of people going to lift you up that are also broken. There's plenty of places to go. Church is one of them, but it's just like, good grief, man. There's plenty of ways to get fixed, and there's one really good way, like I said, man, and it's there and it's laid out for you, and you don't have to worry. I mean, Jesus said, "Come to me, and I'll give you rest," because He's the one thing that is only going to be unchanging. He's the only thing that's unchanging, right? So if you go there, no matter how crazy or how bad you are, He's there with open arms waiting for you, man. And it's great. You talk about peace, joy, love, all the fruits of the Spirit, man. Galatians 5:25. It's freaking awesome. It's an absolute real thing, man. I've seen the absolute best and the absolute worst that a human can possibly do. And I've never found any other hope, joy, peace, love, or anything than that. It's just where it's at, man. And I've got so many stories that have happened where He showed up in the physical and just death-defying stuff and things that I shouldn't have overcome and shouldn't have come back from. I should have been, stuffed in a locker in that dumpster where the guys left me when I was a kid, man, getting beat up and tossed in there just for being a nerd. It just, I should still be there. But He had plans for me, man. And the thing is, it didn't get better. It got worse. But the thing is that I got better and was able to handle it. And now I'm at a spot where I don't care what comes my way. I really don't. I don't care how bad it is. It does not matter to me. What are you going to do to me? I don't care.
Well, back on a point that you were making, I think one thing that the church does really well that is a little harder for people that aren't religious is the sense of community. And there are communities that people can get in outside of the church.
Absolutely.
But therein lies that comfort zone thing. A lot of people won't. A lot of the military, especially veterans who come home and feel completely disconnected, lose their sense of purpose, lose the brotherhood, and completely fall down, don't realize how many communities there are that they could be involved in where they could feel a sense of purpose, where they could feel a sense of brotherhood.
100%, man. And here's the thing. And, I'm dealing with a really good friend of mine right now. And they're having, family issues or whatever, because it keeps going internal, right? To, I saw all of this and, I saw all of that. But it's just like, and my advice was, look, either talk to, and we've been to counseling and this, that, and the other. I was like, cool. Well, has the counselor been to combat? Right. So how much are you really listening to that counselor if they haven't walked the same path that you have? So I always say, either if you can't go back and talk to your buddies that were there with you, if they're left, right? If you can't talk to them, guess what? As soon as you stepped off the train of the military and got out and the train kept going, guess what? You weren't the only one stepped off. There's other vets out there. So Find someone that did what you did. If you're a veteran, find someone that either did what you did, was there with you, or someone that was in that something worse, because there's plenty of people out there that have been in worse. Come talk to me. I don't care. I will help lift you up out of whatever hole that it is that you're in, right? Have I had troubles? 100%. Have I messed up? Oh, good Lord. We ain't got enough time to talk about that, right? But at the same time, I've gotten stuff right also. And the thing is that I can sit here and smile today and say I've picked myself up out of those holes, man. And you can too. You just have to believe you can, and you have to have somebody else that's walked that path, somebody else that's been in the arena to be able to go, hey, man, it's okay. But you know what? It's over. That part is done. You can't go back and change it, but what you can change hasn't happened yet. So let's work on that and use whatever happened before as a building block to get you better.
Yeah. You know what comes with something that comes with community too is that when you find groups of people that have been through shit, what this podcast has been for me and how it's really helped me is it isn't one person. It's the little tidbits of wisdom that I pulled from every single episode where everybody has their different approach, because everyone's different in how they view life and the lenses they see life through. Sometimes, like when I used to coach hockey, such a weird example, but when I used to coach hockey, some kids I had to push real hard and some kids I had to coddle a little bit to get the best out of them. They just had different personality types. But I would get the same result from both of them by doing something a little different. So it's like, for me, this podcast has been like everyone's little bit of approach, how it applies to myself, how it applies to what I go through. has given me more wisdom, has teach me skills and helped me to kind of grow, and I'm continuing to grow out of what I've been going through, or what else, how I've dealt with my trauma, which is mostly incorrect. Like which is most people, especially men, like they don't know how to fucking do that shit.
Yeah, I mean, you can say, man, yeah, I wouldn't even put a gender on it, man. People hurt no matter what, no matter who you are, and that's the thing too, is that even in the role that the female plays within a relationship, man, is that they're going to feel for the man,
Yeah,
and and if the guy's hurting, they don't know how to feel, and because it's all they know is that they have this thing that they care so much about, and there's nothing seemingly that they can do about it, and they want to so bad, so that causes so much stress on them, and then that causes issues in the relationship, and then things can happen. So that's why I say, if that guy or gal, whatever situation that they're in, goes and finds somebody that has been through it and has come out on the other end in a positive way, that's the one that they need to connect with. Right. And they might not be a therapist, no, but at the same time, to me, it's like Fire TV back overseas, man, is that you would go through this hellacious stuff, come back, and then burn wood pallets, and we just sit there and talk about nothing or about everything. And it just, that helped.
Yeah.
But it was all of us together that did it, right? So it's when you get out, if you left your old tribe and you don't have connections with them anymore, find your new tribe, man.
Yeah.
Who is it that's going to bring you in? Because there's somebody out there. I almost feel like being alone is a choice. And that's the thing, is that you choose to stop looking for people. But the other thing too is that for people to help you out. Thing is that also, like I said, people are fallible. They're going to let you down no matter what or how close you are to them, right? Because they're people.
Yeah.
The Lord won't. That's it. But so as long as you're tied to something that can't let you down and won't let you down, then that other stuff doesn't seem so bad. And the cool part about it is it teaches you to forgive, that you understand that they're fallible and you're fallible as well. You forgive them, they forgive you, and we keep going because we understand what we've been through and we love each other for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and most of that applies to a average citizen as well. I mean, find your tribe, like as far as like people that have been through what you've been through, like anybody can learn from this whole thing, because it's like life is fucking hard. Like, it's hard for everyone on every level. I don't care if you're someone that's born with money, or you're someone that's born poor, or you're black, or you're white, or you're gay, or you're straight. It's hard. But you have to build that, like you said, the resilience and the grit in order to get through these things. And it is so fucking helpful if you can find other people that have been through it, and to just reflect the exact thing you said. Even in relationships, so many people have been hurt in a relationship, so now they're just not going to be in a relationship. And it's like, that's not the answer. People are fallible. You make a mistake and you fucking make yourself I know you don't love the word vulnerable, and I actually liked your reason for that, but make yourself vulnerable enough to find love or have someone in your life, and they might fuck up and they might hurt you, and you might have to move on to another person.
Yep. That's it. Now the thing is, you can actually use the word vulnerable when it comes to a relationship, right? You just have to understand how to let your guard down. Okay.
Right.
But the only way that you can become truly vulnerable with a person goes back to what I've said before, as being authentic. If you're authentic with that individual and they understand the animal that you are, then they can come to terms with and either stay or go based off of who you really are. Don't show a bunch of flash, just be you.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't lie about who you are. Don't do this. I mean, but again, people are people. They're going to mess up. It's fine. And it's not about really messing up, because everybody messes up, but it's about, once you've messed up, where do you go from there? That's going to be the true character of the individual.
Yep. I agree. I tell my daughter this all the time. As she's 21, she's getting into the world of, like, she's got a boyfriend now, but like, it's getting to the, this is the point where she might have a really long relationship and live with somebody and whatever. And I keep telling her, I'm like, look, any two people can find a reason to get along, but how do you deal with conflict? How do you deal with not getting along? How resilient are you in that situation? Is he good at, can you talk through it? Can you work through it together? Can you come out on the other end learning from it? And that can apply to anything. It can apply to your boss. It can apply to your friends. It can apply to the random people you meet in your daily life. I think it's unfortunate, though, that people, because of the instant gratification of like social media and being able to connect with the world, they will just quickly throw something aside if it's not easy. A friendship, a relationship.
They don't know how to fail. They don't know how to fail. People don't know how to deal with failure. Like, instead of it going, all right, cool, well, learn from that one, fine. It just completely they collapse inside themselves. They go internal and they're like, I've failed. Well, I tell you who's failed, it's probably mom and dad, right? Because they didn't freaking beat you with the hose like they did with us. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing is, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Is that kids need discipline and they need parameters
Right.
within to work in. It's not a free for all. The parent is in charge. The child is not in charge. And if it's the other way, well, you need to check yourself, right?
Which is the case with a lot of people these days, to be honest.
100%. And you wonder why things are going so dadgum rampant. It's because nobody told them no, right? I am Dr. No. I will happily tell you no, because it ain't right. And that's not the thing to do. And if you sit there and ask me about it, I may give you a response. I may not. But it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that this is where I am in this relationship. This is where you are, and you're going to do what you're told. That's it, because I have your best interest at heart, because you cannot see the world in those horse blinders that you have. Right? You got to open up the aperture a little bit and see everything. And that only comes with more time on planet Earth, which a child does not have. So they have to be guided and directed properly.
Yeah. You can't teach wisdom. I mean, it just comes with time.
Absolutely.
You can, that's been a frustrating thing as a parent. We had a neuropsychologist on the other day, and we were talking about how a kid's emotional center of their brain develops pretty early, but the control center of the emotional part of the brain doesn't develop till you're 25. So you have this really, really backwards thing as your kids are growing up, to like find that balance of like, you might feel a way about something, but there's a logical reason why you can't or can or should or whatever. And I find that's a really hard balance for me with my kids. It has been, my daughter's hitting 21, where you're like, man, like to find that it's fucking hard. It's a tough place. It's not easy. So I don't blame parents that try and fail, because they're human, but I blame parents that don't put the effort in.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. And they have to. And the kids, they might resent them. They might hate them. But the thing is that you're not there to be their friend. You're there to be the parent, right? You're there to be a mentor and a teacher and a guide to help them learn from your mistakes, right? Hopefully not repeat them, so that they can grow and you're building something better than you. And that's what I always say, especially with the fathers, right? Is that guys don't like getting beaten. They shouldn't, right? You should love competition and absolutely want to win every single daggum time. And the only person that you want to beat you is your kid. That's it.
Yeah.
And then the thing is you don't let them beat you. You make them better than you.
Yep.
And if they are better than you, then you've done well.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's so hard to get across to a kid when they get to the point of like, where they're trying to understand, why are you doing the things that you do? And I've fucking hate it, but I've had to hear, I have to make my own mistakes type thing. And I'm like, I understand that, but I'm also trying to help you circumvent the ones that I made. Like you can go around those and make new mistakes. And then when you get a kid, you can go around your mistakes and my mistakes. And you know what I mean? Like that's the point.
Yep. But the thing is what you do now is you have now just given that child choice. Instead of them experiencing it for just on their own and you letting that happen, you have now given them a choice, and they are actively choosing to be stupid. Yeah. Right? Because you've been given wisdom based off of experience, and this is how you're going to make it right. Now, it is up to you to make that decision. If you mess up, don't come crying to me.
Yeah.
Because I told you what was right and what was wrong. Oh my gosh, it did this, it did that. Yeah, told you. Now, am I going to dust you off, give you a hug, tell you I love you? But at the same time, I'm not going to sit there and listen to whining. I don't care. Right? Because you made the choice. You make your bed, you're going to lie down in it. That's it. It's the same way for me. I mess up. Cool. That's it. Ask for forgiveness, repent of what I've done, and carry on and do better.
Yeah.
It's a learning process. But I mean, the thing is, if they don't listen to you, it's just being an idiot, and that's it. But at the same time, it's like, what environment have you allowed your child to grow up in? Is it one of benevolence? Is it one of learning? Is it one of understanding? Is it one of anger? I don't know. Right. But the thing is that the more tempered that you are, the more tempered they are going to be, because they're looking at you. They're going to follow you one way or the other. and they may not see it, and you'll see it when that time comes when they hit their 20s, and it's like, dude, I didn't teach them this, but they did just like me. But yes, you did teach them. You taught by actions, maybe not by words, but you taught by actions.
Yeah, I see it. I see it all now that they're both like near adult. One's an adult and one's nearing adulthood, which whatever the fuck adulthood means. I don't even know where that starts or ends at this point anymore. But it is pretty impressive, dude. That sometimes my son says shit, I'm just like, damn, dude. Like, oh yeah, that's me. That's me coming through there. I can see that in the beauty of them being their own person too. Like taking what you've given them and then running with it it's a fucking beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's a good thing and you see that it's helping them become more resilient and a better individual and a functioning part of society and to better things, yeah, absolutely. You're going to it's going to make you feel good. And what it should do is charge you up to keep going as a parent, man.
Yeah. Yeah. The crazy thing is when you look at bad parenting, most of it's not intentionally malicious. You know, I think people do the best they can at some point. When you look back at like, so parent A, they had parents. How did they do as a parent? And how did their parents do as a parent? So at some point along the line, like these skills that you're supposed to have, some people just don't.
Yeah. And then your parents are going to hose up, man. That's just the way of it. And you're going to mess up.
Yeah.
But the thing is it, are you learning? Are you taking the opportunity to get better? Okay. You see what your parents did wrong, but what did they do right? That's another thing that kids don't do is what did your parents get right that you know they did? And then what they got wrong, why did they get it wrong? Were they doing the best that they possibly could based off of who they are as an individual? And if that's the case and you don't understand what it is, go try to.
Yeah.
Figure out what it is how are you making yourself better for your kids?
Yeah. Well, and there's a point too where none of us, I don't give a fuck how good your parents were. At some point in your life, everyone's got flaws. Everyone's got issues. Everyone's got shit that you're going to have to work on or learn to work through or learn to carry or learn to not make other people's problems. You don't have the ability to become the ultimate victim though. You can't, well, my parent didn't do this. Well, okay. Now you know that, then you're aware of it. So fucking do something about it.
Right. Right. Sitting there dwelling on it isn't going to do anything. I mean, I did that for the longest time. And I was like, I'm just going to beat what my dad did. I'm going to, whatever record he said, or if he did, or whatever he did in life, I was going to crush it. Right. Just because of the way that I grew up. Yeah. And I did. But you know what that did? I mean, yeah, it made me stronger and whatnot, but it toward a relationship that I probably could have built if I would have forgiven earlier. But I wouldn't have harped on it so much because it meant absolutely nothing. But if I'd have just taken it, but again, I was a kid, stupid, right? So take what you can from the guy and then capitalize on it to make you better. But don't do it out of angst and anger and all this other stuff. Now, are those drivers to success? Sure. Do you need to be a little bit obsessed to be really successful? Yes, 100%, right? There is no balance with really successful people. They're usually very driven and obsessed individuals. However, there are those other things that are going to slide a little bit and get in the way. So it's just taking an account of what it is that you're doing, understanding why you're doing it, and how is it going to affect those people that you supposedly care about.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, life is fucking messy for everyone. It's a different mess for everyone and trying to get through the shit. That's another thing that's hard. That's like to instill this hope and drive in your kids while also helping them understand this shit's going to be messy. It's never going to look like what you think it's going to look like, but you keep your feet moving, you know?
Yeah. And that's the thing is that you just teach them the lessons, you teach them to read, you teach them history, and to understand that, you know, if you don't change things, history is going to repeat itself. And it's happened time and time and time again, not just individually, but societally. It's just a thing. Right. So, and some things are inevitable that you won't be able to change because that's just the way things are going to be. So it's teaching them and understanding them and educating them as much as humanly possible, telling them the difference between right and wrong, and then setting them free and letting them go mess up, but always having that safety net that is you that's sitting there with, you know, I always say, always leaving the back porch light on, man. That's it. You know, and if they know that they have that, then, you know, they'll probably be okay.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Parenting is I always say it's the most rewarding thing with the biggest consequence.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's because look, I can be fucked up. That's fine. I don't want to fuck my kids up, man. I don't want them in a fucking therapist chair talking about their dad. I want that as little as possible.
So there's your driver to not be jacked up.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
I can't be depressed because I can't afford to be. Because why? I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about them.
Yeah. You know, when it was real bad, when it got to the point of like suicidal ideation and stuff, they were there were points where I would convince myself that they were better off without me because I was such a burden on their life. And I thought through that, and I realized that it would devastate them, and I stayed, and thankfully, and now my purpose is to show them that I can get better, to show them that I can improve, and show them that if they ever go through something, that just being resilient and keep pressing and keep learning. And there have been points where I felt super weak about all this. And then I came to the conclusion that it's not actually weakness at all. It's taken a lot of strength for me to do the things that I've done or what I've pressed through, you know, just how my life's been. And to come to that conclusion alone was a motivating factor.
Well, I mean, honestly, you just defined courage. Like I said before, you fell down, you got back up, and you kept driving on. And everybody's going to do that. And guess what, man? You're going to trip and fall again. Everybody does, right? I'm not, put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby, but it's just, hey, bad things are going to happen. You're going to mess up. I'm going to mess up. It's going to happen. The thing is that identify it, try to put things in place to where you won't mess up. And the thing is that if it's all based in absolute true love, right? And love doesn't mean do whatever you want and get away with it. Love comes with accountability, right? And consequences. So it's one of those things. If as long as you lay that foundation with them, it's never too late to start either. If you realize that you've messed up, dadgummit, fix it. Yeah, it might be a rocky road getting there, but that also is a marathon, not a sprint. You go full send out of the gate, you're not going to be able to last, man. It's like, eating like garbage forever and then all of a sudden, going on the Whole30 diet. Well, that's going to last just like it says 30 days. And then you're going to go back to freaking pizza and cake time. Right. Yeah. So it's slowly take the bad things out and slowly replace them with good things. You do that with life. You do that with food. You do that with all kinds of things. As long as you're replacing the bad with the good, eventually, guess what? It's all going to be good. But guess what? It's all going to toughen you too, because each of those good things that you put into place are also little bitty blockades against the enemy. And that enemy is what's whispering at you, hey, I need to calm down. I need comfort. I need to do this. Guess what? You're not worth it. Your kids aren't worth it. That's the devil in your head, man. You're trying to get at you. And he sounds sweet and he sounds awesome until it's time to get destroyed. And it looks beautiful. But Pops, the one you're supposed to be looking at, that's the one where when he starts talking, you're like, home. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But that's how it's supposed to be. That's reverence. That's respect. That's honor. So you just got to realize that and keep driving, man.
So you were talking about a little bit earlier, and you also, I saw when you sent me the little bio, you and I both went through bullying as a kid. I was a fucking dork and I hit puberty super late. So I was fucking squeaky voice, little, like,
oh, it's the worst.
It sucked, dude. And then I'm 6'2", 280. So it's like,
now what?
Yeah. I'm like, but my thing. So my dad was a musician. He's also a Vietnam vet. I was always pulled to music. So I became a musician. I ended up touring. I ended up all over the country. I ended up doing some pretty cool shit. And then the same people that were shitty or didn't give a shit when I was nobody were like in my DMs, like, remember me? I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I do. So I think that was part of what fueled me at that point too, was like, I felt unseen. And even though I was a pretty introverted person, I pushed through that to be an entertainer.
Yeah.
And I think it was partially a broken, like I'm sure there's some bullshit psychology where I was like, oh yeah, I'll show you. I'm going to fucking go stand in front of people and whatever.
Yeah, tell me I can't do something.
Yeah.
All you got to do. But the thing is that it's one of those things, too, where it's that weird thing where you hate bullying and it's bad, but it's like when you come out the other end of it, you almost want to thank them because that's what made me tough and helped make me tough. It's like all those beatings that I got when I was a kid, man, all those times. And it wasn't like people that are watching, I don't know what your demographic is, man, but if you're kids and you just hit the off button and bullying stops nowadays. Back then, you had to take different routes to school. You had to go around different buildings, in the school. You couldn't go past certain classrooms. You couldn't go this way on the playground because you faced it and you were going to get beat down hardcore. Yeah. And just for looking different. I look like a white Steve Urkel, man. I was all legs, Coke bottle glasses, dude. I even had suspenders. Like it was like, did I do that? Just a huge nerd, I grew to my current height. I'm 6'4", and I hit 6'4" when I was 14. and it was all legs, man. Just
Damn.
goofball. I was a lightning rod to getting beat on because the 80s, right? You know, 80s and 90s. Didn't care back then. And it's just it was a whole other ball game. And then on top of that, being told you're worthless, being told you're nothing, and it's a horrible feeling. So then it's just like, well, why am I sitting around here? And maybe they're right. And then you find yourself getting ready to start a pistol, and that's when you get a voice in the back of your head that says, "Hold up, I got something for you." And you're like, "Huh?" Put the weapon down. Okay, I'm listening. And next thing you know, it's just like, just keep pushing through it. Keep pushing through it. You start taking martial arts. You start doing this. You start getting a little bit more confident, right? I was that kid jackhammering, reading in front of people. Just get me out from the front of this classroom. I don't want to talk in front of nobody. Now I'm a dadgum public speaker.
Yeah.
You know, talking to people, inspiring and motivating them to get better. Why? Because I understand what resilience is. It's keep going, just keep hey man, we'll go with movie quotes, right? Just keep swimming, baby. Just keep swimming. Dory, right? That's all you got to do. Little engine that could, man, for major pain. Toot, toot, keep going. And that's all it is. And it's that one thing. And it was just, I had to beat my dad. I had to be better than the one Captain America guy that everybody in the family looked up to, and they looked down on me. Like, it was going past all that. And it's like, join the Marine Corps because that's what he did. And then it's, getting the Marines, and it's like, I'm going to take my own path because he was intel, right? And I went infantry.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going my own way. And then next thing you know, I'm sitting there in the grunts, and 9/11 hits. And now it's time to put your money where your mouth is. Right? And it's go time. And then it's just like, well, I need to elevate this. And then SEAL teams come along, right? And all this other stuff starts happening. Start breaking bones and start getting surgeries. And docs say you can't do that. Next thing you know, you pick up a hitchhiker, tumor in the brain surgery happens, all this other crud, and everybody's saying you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh yeah, watch me. And then you come out stronger on the other end, man. And then it makes a fantastic story to be able to not only give glory to God to put me through all of it, but to be able to lift people out of those holes, and maybe they could climb a little bit better and understand how to fail their way to success with a little bit of a helping hand.
Yeah. Isn't the brain is a little tricky thing in that I say this thing, and it's a common thing that people say, that this is just a moment and this moment will pass type thing. And what I mean by that is that life is just a lot of moments, right? Like, it's a lot of some last years, some last minutes, like they're just moments. And a lot of times, like, even as adults, some people, whether it's a breakup or whether it's something where it's like that's the last moment of their life in their head. Like, people don't realize how many times they've done that. Like, they forget that there's been times where they thought this was it, that this is the most I can take. And then they press through it. And then there was new moments, and some of them were great. And then they've hit another shitty patch. And like, that's where the whole thing of like feeling weak, but actually being strong came in for me.
You don't know your own strength, man. Like,
right.
If you're alive, you're breathing, and you're listening to this today, guess what? You have passed 100% of your hardest days, and you're still here.
Yep.
Congrats.
Still here.
But now what? Keep pushing forward, man. Start climbing out of that hole if you're in one. Look around for some help. There's somebody that's going to help you get out of there, and just start charging.
Yeah.
Fail your way to success, man. And it's okay.
Yeah. What's the old saying with how many 50,000 times they didn't invent the light bulb before they invented the light bulb, or whatever.
One more time is what got it. Yeah. I always say, you had to go through 1 through 6 up before you got 7 up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I wonder how many flavors of Dr. Pepper there were at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this just isn't it. It needs a little more. It needs something
That's right.
else.
It's a little something else.
How about some prune juice?
That's it. We're going to make it right. Thanks, Plano, Texas. Appreciate you.
That's funny. So you live in Texas now?
No, I'm in Virginia, man. I was born in Texas.
You said that. That's right.
Yeah.
I went to Texas a couple of summers ago playing music for, I don't even remember the Chive.
Yeah.
Keep calling Chive on.
Oh, Bill Murray.
Yeah. One of the girls worked for, so the guy I played music with wrote their theme song that they, so he was heavily involved with them. And some girl that used to work there hired us to go play a wedding in Austin. I'm a huge stand-up comedy fan. So like Joe Rogan being there, all the comedy clubs and everything. And we got to go down to 6th Street for a little bit.
Ugh, problems down there.
Yeah, it's a mess because there's a shit ton of homeless past a certain point. And like, They've also got apparently a serial killer that's been dropping bodies in this fucking lake or river nearby that's been going on for years. Who knows what's up with that? Anyway, there's just something right now. I don't particularly love living in the Midwest. It's just not for me. And I've lived here several times. I grew up near St. Louis, and there's just something about Texas that's kind of calling me, man.
Then go.
Yeah, I think I probably will eventually, but it's. Am I wrong to think that? I mean, what's your
Are you kidding me? I would go back to Texas in a heartbeat if I could. Are you kidding me, man? Dude, I love that place. Ain't nothing better than Texas. I'm sorry. Hey, love planet Earth. Been to great places around there, but I'm gonna tell you what, man. You ain't seen nothing till you seen Texas. Not city Texas, country Texas.
Yeah. When we got to go down there, one of our buddies owned a Longhorn ranch, and went out to his ranch. Fucking talk about humbling, dude. Hanging out with these fucking massive ass. Woo! I was like, man, I am fucking paper right now. That thing could just do whatever the fuck it wanted with me.
Yeah, you're at its will, but you've got to still show it. You're in charge, man.
Right? Yeah, dude. It was a lot. Well, we first pull up, and it's the craziest thing to me, and I guess I've just never seen anything like this. As we're driving through the ranch, the fences are just open. So like at one point the cows walk out into the street with us and we're fucking feeding them shit. So then we go into the deeper part where like the big ones were. And as we're pulling up in the side by side, this big boy just fucking stares me down. And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude.
You're in his world.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, man, you feel like fucking soft as rotten fruit. You know, you're just like, damn.
But it's good, though. It's fun. It's fun though, man. It's cool to see those animals. They're beautiful animals.
They really are, man. It was a very cool experience. And it was funny. The farmer's he was a good old fucking country boy, a tough guy, and he was talking about that he was going to have to put one of them down and that he was going to send the skull to my music partner.
That's pretty cool.
He started tearing up in it, man, where he's just like, he's connected to these things,
Yeah. I mean, you raise them, whatever, depends on what the purpose is. But if you raise them for the beauty of it and you have to end up killing them, I mean, yeah, it's going to sting a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's cool though, because I've seen some of the coolest art made out of those skulls. I actually have a massive set of bull horns up in my living room, man. Got to keep true to the state.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I could see me ending up there. There's a lot to like about it. I like that it's a conservative state, but I like that it has a balance of like for Austin, for example, it's kind of a liberal city.
All the cities, I think the last real city that's left, I think it's maybe Cowtown outside Fort Worth, and then maybe a pinch of San Antonio. But like, all the other ones have kind of gone a weird direction.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the thing is, you want true Texas, you go outside the city, you gonna find them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be the plan. I don't particularly love living in a big city to begin with.
Yeah,
like I would like to live on the outskirts because I like the amenities. I want to go to concerts and shit.
Yeah.
By the way, who did you go see the other day? You were talking about
Pantera.
Okay, I toured with them in 2000.
No way. From
I was on the whole Ozfest tour.
No kidding. So that was their last one. I was at that concert in Dallas.
No shit.
At Coca-Cola Starplex. Yeah, man.
Wow, I was there.
I had tickets. I had tickets actually to see Damage Plan because after Ohio, they were going to come back down to Texas and I was going to see them. And that's when Dimebag got gunned down.
Damn. What a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a metalhead too. Like I like new metal too. Like I like modern metal, but I go back pretty far as well.
Yeah.
Never really played metal, unfortunately. On my whole music career I had more of a clean voice. So I did more like alt rock, like grunge and stuff like that. But like, fuck, dude, if I could scream, I would have fucking went a whole different path with my life.
Yeah. Yep. That's another level, man. Especially back then where the guys had some massive vocals.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Dude, it was so wild being on tour with Pantera. I didn't mingle with them too much because you're kind of one big family when you're on tour. And I was working for a record label supporting, it's kind of a long story. There's a band called Snot, and the singer died in a car accident, and they had made an album where a bunch of metal singers from like Slipknot, Limp Bizkit, System of a Down all sang on this album. So I was out supporting that, working under Soulfly. I don't know if you're
Max Cavalera.
Yeah. So I was working directly under them. Yeah, it was fucking cool, man. But it was so funny listening to Pantera every night because at the time, I don't know what Phil's state is as far as like substance is, like how he's doing with substances, but he's had his bouts.
Hardcore. I was at the concert he died at.
Wow.
It was Pantera and White Zombie, 1998, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was actually my birthday. It was July 13th, and I remember that's when Phil they put a great show on, but he did the heroin OD and went to the Dallas medical facility there that night. Yeah.
Yeah, those people. I mean, so many people in that industry. I worked deeply in that industry for a long time, and man, there's people that just live right on that razor's edge, dog. You're like,
Well, you better get ready to get cut then.
yeah, exactly. It's happening. When is the question. It's not if.
Yeah, absolutely. And all you're doing is you are taking that little hourglass that is life, the sands of time, and just shaking it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It was so funny though, because Phil, every show he would be fucked up, and they'd start a song, and he'd be like, "No, wait, I'm gonna tell this," thing. And he'd go, "Fuck, I forgot." Like,
Just sing the songs, man. Now he was known for his long, mostly incoherent talking in between there. It's just, and you could see Dime sitting there just kind of playing a riff, and Vinny will hit something, and it's just like, all right, man, next song, let's do this, And then it's like, all right, the purpose of this song, and we're like, no, nope, it's not. But he got it right, and he ended up wailing and doing a fantastic job. So
That's awesome.
but it was good.
Some hope for me. There's a lot of newer heavy music that's climbing the charts, and they're starting to kind of get metal and heavy stuff. Maybe not exactly what we like in the mix in pop culture, which will mean maybe there's hope for mosh pits one day. I mean, right now it's like these kids. No, dude. I heard someone say it, so it was so true. They were like, when we were growing up, the parents were always like, "Man, these fucking kids, they're out of hand. Like, what's going on?" Now the kids are like, "These fucking adults are out of hand."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
the funny thing is, man, is that like I was the only old guy that was down there in the pit, right? First of all, I charged the pit because I looked at my buddy that was with me. I go, "Hey, bro, let's charge the pit." And he's looking at me like, "What?" And I went, "No, let's do this." And he said it looked like a rhinoceros because I'm 310 pounds, right? He said it looked like a rhinoceros running in there. And then, the security guys just jump out of the way. And Phil actually saw me, and I jumped jumped into the pit, right? Because there was a railing, and I forgot because back in the day, like I said, I was a skinny little punk kid. You go in the pit and, that's where you get out your aggression, but you'd still come back bloodied and bruised and broken a little bit, but it was expected because you're dishing them out too, right? Because it's all in good fun. And Pantera had the heaviest pits around back in the day. I mean, death metal didn't matter. You did not find a freaking nastier pit than these Pantera era, man. So it's weird how I went back. I was that old me, and I forgot who I was and what I look like and what I could do. Right. So, dude, this poor kid, I went up to him and just shoved him. And as I shoved him, his whole body went woof and off the ground. And then he just went right down on the concrete. And he ain't moving. And I'm like, and then reality just hit. I'm like, oh my God, I just killed a kid. Because it's like, I'm just moshing. That's what we do. And then, go to revive him and get him up there. I'm like, dude, I am sorry. It's different. And then I just kind of looked up, waved, and then got exited, pit right. I was like, okay, it's not what it used to. I'm just going to go back. And it was funny too, because I went back to my row. The entire row was emptied. Like they left. They went somewhere else, man. And it was just me and my buddy in the whole row. And he's just like, dude. And I went, I just wanted one more ride, man. And he's just like, did you get
relive the glory days in the pit?
Yeah. And it's not made for large, aggressive people.
No, dude, my years in the pit always ended up me with some little teenage girl going, "Will you be my pit buddy?" Where I'm having to just like block people off and shit.
No, you go in the pit, you're taking your life into your own hands. It's all for one, man.
Yeah, but I also have a penis, and it made me make stupid decisions.
Okay, all right. Well, if you had that, that's fine. But I never took a trip to Simp City, man.
Yeah, I was a fucking lover, dude. I was always a hopeless romantic, so I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll be your pit buddy."
Well, I thought I was, but I was too much of a nerd for anybody to care. So I was just there to take hits and give out as many as I could and come out deaf and hoarse.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
If you're
sore neck for sure.
so bad, but so good.
So worth it.
That's worth it.
Yeah. I've been to a few shows here in the last. I used to go. So one time I probably told this story on the pod, but the local radio station that does rock and that type of music, they were putting on a show, and I knew I was working for the guy that was there, but I just got on the guest list. So I show up, they've got their, like, their big huge truck with the antenna on the top, and they're at broadcasting outside.
Yeah.
I was trying to like hook up with this intern girl that I liked. So I go outside to see if she's outside. The guy comes running around the end of the truck, and he's like, "Hey, they're kicking the shit out of my DJ." And I'm like, "What?" So I just run around the edge of the truck, and it's just two guys kicking the shit out of this dude on the ground and me. So I was playing hockey and reffing hockey, breaking up fights like that. So I just go in and wrap up a dude's arm and kind of throw him off. And about that time, other people come in. Dude grabs me, throws a couple punches, and sees that I didn't respond and just kind of runs, right? So for 4 years, maybe more, every single show that came through here, I would call the radio station and go, "Hey, Zach Polk +1," and I'd be on the guest list. I'd go to 3-4 shows a week for nothing, dude, for fucking 4 or 5 years. It was so fun.
You did it right, man.
Yeah, just for taking a little punch to the noggin.
A couple of lumps will get you there, man. That was it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, we're up on the hour mark.
Yeah, man.
I really appreciate it, man. Ty always does something that I have to do in place of him. But do you have any saved rounds? Anything we didn't get to?
Going for the military guys or whatever. Yeah. No, man, just if you find yourself in a hole, try to dig out best you possibly can. Keep running towards what's tough, and just understand that the hits are going to keep on coming. So it's your choice whether to run away or to just take the hits and keep on going.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's great advice, man. Even advice that I need to hear sometimes.
Just keep pushing, baby. It'll all be all right.
Any links? Anything you want people to try to connect with you, or any?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, I do the speaking bit, and we didn't get into it or anything, but I do strength training also. But yeah, if you're Instagram, it's raise.your.horn. It's Tommy Richardson on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And my website is www.divinesavagery.com.
Love it. Awesome. I appreciate you, man. If there's anything you ever need to shout out, let us know. If you want to come back on in a few months and just kind of check in.
Yeah.
Be cool. Maybe have Ty on for that one too. You guys, we didn't really get much into your military background either. Any of the shit you saw out there. I'm sure that's sure you got some stories.
One or two.
Anyway, man, I appreciate you, and thank you guys for tuning in, and like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. And we're glad you're still fucking here.
Absolutely.